Many people look for quick ways to get rich, especially on the internet. If you've already done this search on YouTube or the web, you've probably come across hundreds of videos and articles on the topic. But the vast majority of these people who seek wealth do not achieve their goal. This is because they often look at the wrong side of the equation. Instead of focusing on what really generates wealth, they end up wasting time on temporary solutions or strategies that don't have a solid foundation. Now, if you really want to know how to get rich, the first thing you need to do is seek information from external sources. The truth is that most schools don't teach anything about how to manage money or how to make it grow. This is something that most of us only learn in real life, with our own experiences and with teachings from those who have already been through it all. The key is to learn what really matters, seeking the right kind of knowledge. Often, what you learn at school serves to train professionals in specific areas, such as doctors, lawyers, or engineers. But what do these rich people do? They have to learn more than just the technical skills of their profession. And that's what schools don't teach, not even if you have a college degree. Therefore, if you want to get rich in 2025, you need to challenge yourself to learn from those who have practical experience, and not just from books. The rich have a different mentality than most, and this makes all the difference when making financial decisions. The first step to understanding how to generate wealth is to seek knowledge that will teach you to think differently. If you are interested in understanding more about this, stay until the end of the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next content. Now, let's move on to the content, which will show you the story of Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the famous book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This will open your mind even more about what really matters when it comes to generating wealth. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, had a childhood like many others coming from a middle-class family. From a young age, he began to wonder how he could achieve wealth. At 9 years old, he was already searching for answers to a question that, over time, would become fundamental to his life. How can I get rich? His curiosity was what drove him to learn in a different way than most people. Kiyosaki had a highly educated father with a doctorate who worked as the head of an education department. This gave him access to an intellectual environment. But even with all of his father's formal education, Kiyosaki realized that there was something very important that was not being taught in schools: how to manage money. He asked his father why teaching about money was not part of the school curriculum, and the answer was clear: because the government doesn't want us to know about it. From that moment on, Kiyosaki began to see a big difference between the teachings that his father, Rich Dad, wanted to teach and what his poor dad was teaching. His rich father, who was an entrepreneur, always told him that he needed to learn about money if he wanted to achieve financial freedom. In contrast, the poor father, although very intelligent and successful in his public career, never had a complete understanding of finances. He believed that the purpose of work was simply to receive a salary, which, in Kiyosaki's view, limited the potential of anyone who only dedicated themselves to being an employee. Deep down, Kiyosaki learned that true wealth didn't just come from having a job or a good salary, but from the ability to understand and control money strategically. This led him to learn more from other people, like his friend Mike's father, who was a businessman and could teach him how to use money wisely. Now, if you're enjoying this story and want to learn more about how these teachings impacted Kiyosaki on his financial life, don't forget to give it a like to help the channel grow. And stay with me in the next topic, where we'll see how Kiyosaki began to learn valuable lessons about money in a very practical and creative way. The difference between employees and entrepreneurs. After being advised to learn from his friend Mike's father, Robert Kiyosaki went ahead and sought to better understand the mindset of entrepreneurs. He wanted to know why business people thought so differently from employees and what else they knew about money that he didn't already know. This curiosity made Kiyosaki realize a big difference between the two worlds, that of an employee and that of an entrepreneur. His poor father, who was a civil servant, said that work was simply a way to earn money. For him, the money would come at the end of the month with the payment of his salary. But the rich father of the businessman thought completely differently. He believed that to be successful, it was essential to understand how money works and how it can be multiplied through investments and businesses. One of the biggest lessons Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad was that entrepreneurs not only make money from their work, but they know how to make money work for them. The real secret to wealth is learning to invest and make smart financial decisions, rather than simply relying on a fixed salary. Now, I want to know, have you ever stopped to reflect on this difference between being an employee and being an entrepreneur? What are your biggest financial goals? Leave it in the comments. I want to know your opinion. Next, let's see how Kiyosaki's life was shaped by a seemingly simple game, the Monopoly. This game was essential for him to understand the rules of the money game, and that's what we're going to see next. Let's go. But first, leave your like if you like the content. When Kiyosaki began working for his rich dad, he received no salary, but was taught in a way that many would consider unusual, by playing the board game Monopoly. The idea behind it was that the game, while simple, taught fundamental principles about how money works in the real world. In Monopoly, the dynamics of buying, selling, and trading properties were very similar to what an entrepreneur does in real life to generate wealth. During the time he spent learning from his mentor, Kiyosaki realized that the point of playing Monopoly was not just to have fun, but to understand the essential rules of the financial game. Buying properties at low prices and selling or renting them at higher prices was one of the most profitable strategies out there. The idea of buying low and selling high is not just a game strategy, but a powerful lesson that can be directly applied to financial life. Furthermore, Kiyosaki realized that the game taught more than just how to make money. He taught how to make smart decisions about where to invest, how to deal with resource scarcity, and how to manage risk. All vital skills for anyone who wants to achieve real wealth. This practical and fun approach made Kiyosaki understand that wealth does not come from a magic formula, but from how you use your financial knowledge to make good decisions. Over time, Kiyosaki began to realize that what he was learning from playing Monopoly was being reflected in real life. He saw that rich dad was applying the same strategies in the real world when acquiring properties and businesses. This made him understand that what he was learning was not just theory, but something that could be used to build a real financial empire. And now that you know a little more about how the game of Monopoly helped Kiyosaki understand the basics of money, let's move on to the next point, where we'll see how these teachings impacted his life and how he used this knowledge to achieve great endeavors, including hotel construction. Stay with us to learn more. After years of learning the lessons of Monopoly, Kiyosaki began to realize that the same strategies used in the game were being applied in a very real way in his life. The rich dad Kiyosaki didn't just talk about the rules of the game, he lived them every day. He would buy properties in locations with high potential for appreciation, hold these assets, and later sell them for much higher prices, or rent them out to generate passive income. A clear example of this is when Kiyosaki returned to Hawaii after spending time in New York. He discovered that his mentor, the rich dad, had acquired a very large piece of land in an area that at the time was not considered to be of great value. Over time, this land increased in value, and he built one of the largest luxury hotels in the region, the Hyatt Regency Hotel. The most impressive thing about this story is that he bought the land at low prices, was patient, made the right investments, and years later, sold the hotel for an incredible $800 million. This strategy of buying land and property cheaply, waiting for it to appreciate in value, and then selling or renting it to generate profits has become one of the most effective ways to create wealth, something Kiyosaki and his mentor called playing the real-life game of Monopoly. The most important thing is that this process does not happen overnight. Kiyosaki learned that patience and a long-term vision are essential when it comes to real-world investing. Furthermore, he understood that financial success comes from knowing when to act and when to wait. This concept of buying low and selling high is not exclusive to the real estate sector, but can be applied to many other types of investments, such as stocks, businesses, or any other asset that has the potential to appreciate over time. Kiyosaki showed that to achieve great financial results, it is not necessary to be hasty or look for quick solutions, but rather to have the vision and discipline to make informed decisions and wait for the right moment to reap the rewards. Now that you understand how the lessons of Monopoly applied to Kiyosaki's real life, let's look at a fundamental theme for financial success: how to deal with difficulties and mistakes along the way. Stay tuned. Although Kiyosaki achieved great financial achievements, the path to success was not easy. As he himself reports, there were many difficult moments, mistakes, and even betrayals that almost brought him down. However, these obstacles did not stop him. On the contrary, they served as valuable lessons for his personal and financial growth. Kiyosaki believes that the fear of making mistakes is one of the biggest enemies of anyone who wants to be rich. In schools and in many cultures, we are taught to avoid failure at all costs, which creates an environment where people don't take risks, don't try new things, and therefore never advance. On the other hand, those who are willing to learn from their mistakes and move forward, as Kiyosaki did, are more likely to achieve success. He shares that although he made mistakes along the way, each one taught him something valuable about running a business, dealing with people, and making smarter financial decisions. Even when he was betrayed or had financial problems, Kiyosaki maintained a positive mindset, considering mistakes as a way to learn and grow. For him, true entrepreneurs are those who face challenges head-on, learn from failures, and move forward, stronger than ever. Kiyosaki also criticizes the educational system, which, according to him, does not prepare people for the real obstacles in life. While schools teach us to avoid mistakes and always strive for perfection, real life, especially the business world, requires us to be flexible and know how to deal with unexpected events. Therefore, if you are starting your financial journey or are experiencing difficulties, remember, mistakes are part of the process. The most important thing is to learn from them and not give up. Failure is not an end, but an opportunity to start over with more wisdom and experience. Now that you know how important mistakes and challenges can be to financial growth, let's look at how a mindset about money is crucial to financial success. Don't miss it. One of Kiyosaki's most powerful teachings is that the real difference between the rich and the poor is in mentality. He believes that the way you think about money has a direct impact on what you can achieve financially. Poverty, for him, is not just a matter of not having money, but of having a limited mentality. Many people have a distorted view of wealth, associating money with something negative, or believing that the only way to be financially successful is through constant hard work. Kiyosaki explains that as a child, he was influenced by the mentality of his poor father, who believed that working hard and saving was the path to wealth. However, his rich dad had a completely different view. For him, the path to financial freedom was learning how money works and how to make money work for you. He always told Kiyosaki that wealth does not come from salaries, but from the ability to invest and understand the rules of business. Kiyosaki also highlights that poverty is often taught in families. People who grow up in environments where lack of money is a constant theme may internalize the idea that wealth is something inaccessible. However, changing your mindset is an essential step towards achieving financial success. The good news is that mindsets can be changed. Instead of thinking, "I can't afford this," Kiyosaki suggests switching to, "How can I afford this?" Or, "What do I need to do to reach this financial goal?" The secret, according to him, is to cultivate an abundance mindset where you see money as a tool that can be used to create more wealth. This mindset allows you to always be looking for new opportunities and willing to learn, invest, and grow. If you're struggling to change your mindset about money, think about the ways you view financial opportunities and challenges. Remember, a positive and open mindset can lead you to transform your financial life. Now let's talk about the importance of learning from the real financial masters, those who are in practice and not just in theory. Stay with us. Kiyosaki highlights the importance of learning from those who really live what they teach. He tells a story about when he questioned a teacher about content that he would never use in his life, and the answer was revealing. The teacher only taught because he was paid to do so, not because he applied the knowledge in everyday life. For Kiyosaki, this is a big problem in the educational system. We often learn from false teachers, people who don't practice what they preach. In contrast, true masters are those who apply their knowledge to their own lives and businesses. Kiyosaki learned from accountants, lawyers, and bankers who, although not rich, helped solve real business and financial problems. They were real teachers because by solving practical problems, they taught how money and business really work. The lesson is clear. To truly understand the game of money, it is essential to learn from those on the battlefield, not just those with theory. Therefore, when seeking financial guidance, always look for mentors who live what they teach, as they're the ones who can offer the most valuable and practical lessons. Now that you understand the importance of learning from the masters, let's explore how an abundance mindset can make all the difference in your financial life. Kiyosaki believes that the abundance mentality is one of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor. He notes that many people have a negative view of money, associating it with something difficult to achieve or even as a symbol of greed. This limited mindset is one of the main barriers that prevent people from achieving wealth. According to Kiyosaki, poverty is not just a question of money, but of mentality. The poor mentality is based on limitations, such as the belief that there is not enough money to go around, or that to be rich you have to be dishonest. On the other hand, an abundance mindset views money as a tool that can be used to create more opportunities. When you think abundantly, you see solutions and possibilities, not obstacles. Instead of asking, "How can I not afford this?" Kiyosaki suggests asking, "How can I afford this?" Or, "What can I do to reach this financial goals?" This change in perspective opens the mind to new opportunities, whether through investments, education, or entrepreneurship. The abundance mindset is a key to identifying new ways to generate wealth. So, if you want to achieve financial success, start cultivating a positive and abundant mindset. When you change your thoughts, you will begin to see solutions and opportunities where you previously saw difficulties. Finally, let's talk about how questions can open the mind to new financial possibilities. Kiyosaki emphasizes that one of the keys to wealth is learning to ask the right questions. He points out that while many people, especially those with a limited mindset, claim, "I can't afford that," or "That's impossible," rich people ask, "How can I afford that?" or "What do I need to do to get what I want?" This difference in questions is fundamental. When you question yourself openly and curiously, your mind starts looking for solutions and alternatives. When you close your mind with a negative statement, you block any possibility of change. The question, "How can I pay for this?" activates the mind to find creative ways to generate money, whether through new investments, new sources of income, or opportunities that were previously unseen. Kiyosaki further argues that an abundance mindset, combined with the practice of asking the right questions, is a powerful way to create financial opportunities. He believes that when you start asking instead of asserting, your perspective on money changes dramatically, allowing you to find paths to achieving your financial goals. By adopting this mindset and these strategies, you start to see the world of finance in a completely different way. The key to achieving wealth lies in changing your mindset and applying practical strategies. As we have seen, the abundance mindset is essential to open your mind to new opportunities, while learning from true masters and asking the right questions can transform your financial life. Furthermore, patience and a long-term vision, as in the example of Monopoly, are fundamental to building solid assets. Remember, financial success is an ongoing process, which requires constant learning and a willingness to face challenges. If you like this content and want to learn more about how to transform your financial life, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave your comment, and share it with friends who also want to achieve financial success. Let's go together in this race towards financial freedom.